Sometimes I wonder where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. When the world is cold and lonely, and I cannot find a friend. When the day seems long and empty, and I don't know what to do, I calm my mad impatience when I stop and turn to you. Found my way, found my way, found my way, found my way. I searched and asked more questions. I had to know the truth. I learned about forgiveness. For grace you don't need proof. When miracles do happen, you have the eyes to see the path that had eluded was right inside of me. Found my way, found my way, found my way, found my way. Without your light to guide me, I need a song to sing. I call on you to join me, and what happiness you bring. Found my way, found my way, I found my way, 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 I found my way.
This talk is on symbols and reality. Well, we're going to get to symbols in a little bit, but reality. Let's think about reality. Let's think about what we do to put ourselves into reality. And the best thing that I can tell you is, have you ever been in a situation where you just wanted to protect something? For right now, let's just say you got a bunny for Easter. A little bunny for Easter. And you wanted to take care of this bunny. And what you do is you put it in a cage. And you give it water and you give it food and you clean up after it. But that bunny never really is free. That bunny never really can go anywhere else than that cage or that parameter that you've given it. Now, how fair do you think that might be on that bunny? Does the bunny even know? Does the bunny even care? Does the bunny even want to go any farther? Well, I believe that there's a natural instinct, and not only in your little bunny, but in yourself, that wants you to move further, wants you to move on, wants you to experience all the things that you can experience, all the things that you can absorb in life. What do you think's stopping that from happening? What do you think is stopping that from happening? Intuition? Excitement? Freedom? Being scared of the unknown? Not feeling like what you might do can create something that is better than where you're at? That's stuff that's holding you back. I would even venture to label it as maybe even fear. Fear. How does fear stop us? How does fear put us in a position where we don't do anything more than what we absolutely have to do? I was watching a Star Trek episode the other night, and Catherine Janeway, Starship Voyager said, there's only one reason for fear, and that's for us to make it extinct, to get rid of it. How do we do that? How do you do that? Well, Ernest Holmes will say, first in thought, then in form. It can't work the other way. First in form and then in thought. It has to work in thought to form. Okay, let's look at that for a minute. Let's look at the thought. And how thought is based on reality. Is it based on reality? Or is it just a concept of what is being thought of in that moment? I'm sure you can put yourself in a situation where you have been in that place, where you have been stuck in that thought for so long that becomes your reality, that becomes your world. That becomes that little cage. You become that little bunny. There's no reason to go outside my cage. There's no reason to think there's anything bigger or anything brighter than right here and where I'm at. I'm fed. I have shelter. I'm taken care of. Why in the world would I want to go anywhere else? Well, what makes you different than that bunny is that you have reasoning, that you have ambition, that you have feelings, and you have thought. So moving from that thought to form changes your whole dynamic. It changes the whole way you look at life. Your life. And if you believe it or not, you are part of the bigger things. David said it when he anchored us in. We're all one. We're all one. Your vibration is just as important as the person next to you. Your vibration is just as important as the person that's on the other side of this world, on the other side of this galaxy, on the other side of this universe. Because God is universal, right? Ernest Holmes would, to paraphrase Ernest Holmes, he would tell you that. The connection with God, which really, if you break it down even simpler, is the connection to everybody. God's the central point. So you really are putting out that vibration of not only yourself, but everybody around you. So if you're one of those people who aren't trapped in that little cage like the little bunny, and you're out there doing your life, you might understand the fact that by you doing that, you're helping that person who's in that cage. Because if we were all in that limited thought process, nothing would change. Nothing would move forward. Nothing would expand. Without that, where would we be? I mean, I remember my grandparents telling me, my grandma especially said that the computer is the root of all evil. The root of all evil. And when I would tell her, I would say, yeah, and Grandma, if you talk to your grandparents, they would say anything that rolls on wheels with an engine is the root of all evil. And if you talk to their grandparents, maybe it'd be a ship that floats on the water. So, thinking outside the box, thinking outside what mainstream is so important that you don't get locked up in that fear, or that locked up into what society says you're supposed to be, or you're supposed to do, or you're supposed to go there, or you're not. If we were to do that, then my life would be get an education, get a good job, marry, have 2.5 kids, save up, retire, and die. That doesn't sound very exciting to me. That doesn't, that's such a locked-in thing. And I think if we even apply it even more, there's a lot of that that's going on right now. Pick up a newspaper, go to your computer, go to your laptop, go wherever you need to go, and just look around at the basic titles of what is put in articles. And think to yourself, are they meaning whoever wrote it, are they wanting us to come together as one? Or are they putting us in a situation where they're confining us and dictating to us about how we should think, how we should feel, what we should do? How do you get out of that? How do you get out of that? That's that thought, moving it from thought to form. Fear will hold a lot of people back. Fear will paralyze you to the point where I'm just going to stay in my house and not go anywhere. But we're not creatures of that. We're not creatures of that at all. We want to go out and experience life. We want to go out and feel what's going on. A very bright person in my life once told me, the universe loves change. Why does the universe love change? Because you're moving, you're progressing, you're stepping into things that maybe are unknown to you, but excite you. Think about something that you want to do, but you just don't do because somebody or something has told you not to do it. Think about that. And then think, why did I let that person allow myself not to do that? Why did I have so much, why did those words have so much influence on me that I didn't do it? That's the thought process, to move it from the thought down to the form. Because fear is man-made. You know, I'm not saying that people that are diagnosed with certain fears, it's not a real thing. What I'm saying is that that real thing can be looked at and worked with and maybe changed, possibly changed, hopefully changed. With the right thought process and moving it into the form, it can be changed. My wife, when we first got together, she has a fear of flying, or she has a fear of things that happen while she's in a plane as it's moving in the air. And I will tell you that when we first got together, she had this ritual that she had to go through. And yeah, it was calming, and it was this, and it was that, and it allowed her to at least get onto the plane and sit down and get wherever the plane was going. She finally realized that she could overconquer that. Now, she'll say it's because I'm sitting next to her and she can hold my hand, but Gail might say something different to that. But what I'm saying is that she stepped into the fact that she knew that by flying she could see so much more of what was going on in her life, so much more of what was going on in the world. And she took that limitation away. Yeah, she could have drove. Yeah, she could have went on a train. Yeah, she could have went on a boat. There's many ways that she could have done that, but flying was, in this particular case, the quickest way. So she opened herself up to the possibilities, and not only, she took what was in her head and moved her feet. And by moving her feet was that form, was that action. Some of us, me included, some of us are put us in a situation. I have to say that, put us in a situation. Put us in a situation that we need support. And as David anchored us in, is we're all one. Our song, we're all one. But it's getting out of our heads. It's getting out of our heads and moving into that form, like I said. We have so much trouble. We have people out there who are teachers, that I'm sure that they can relate to some of the students that they have in their class that allow themselves to limit themselves. And because they've limited themselves, they can't move up, they can't move forward, or they can't move beyond what that limitation is. And they can see that. They don't get enough credit, but they're the ones that massage that, and they're the ones that give that child or that student the understanding that they can move past that. They can get out of what they're thinking and apply it. Blessings to those people. Those are the people. And if you look at it in a different way, isn't that the connection that you have with your higher power, Spirit, God? You have that connection. And called upon, which again David said when he anchored us in, is we can do it anytime. It's there for us. God wants us to move forward. God wants us to experience life. God is not against us. God is not against those people on the other side of this world. God is not against anybody. And God has a plan for each and every one of us. Now, I believe we are responsible for igniting that information. We're responsible for activating it. We're the ones that need to step out of that cage. We're the ones that need to see beyond it. And once we call upon it, once we ask it, once we connect with it, once we're there with it, God starts moving. Or we start seeing, God moves all the time. Oops, messed up there. God is moving all the time. We start seeing the movement of God. We start seeing it more clearer and clearer, if you will. Now, we do get hung up in the fact that we put a time frame on it. And I want you to all know that God does not know time. God does not know time. So if something doesn't happen in a certain length of time, oh, I'll do this until this. I'll do this until that. I don't know if that's the best place to sit. Allow yourself to be open to whatever happens during that time. And give it as long as it needs to give it. Because you don't know. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know. Should I have taken the left-hand turn instead of the right-hand turn? Well, there's something inside of you that will tell you yes or no. There's something inside of you that will say, boy, maybe we need to go back and go left instead of right. That's God. That's God helping you out. That's the miracle. That's the miracle. So, with that being said, if we're not willing to step out of our thought process, how in the world do we expect everybody around us to do that? How do we expect somebody else to do that when we're not even willing to do it ourselves? So this is why it's so important that you do put yourself there. And you are willing to move, and you are willing to be open, and you are open to new suggestions, new thought. And from that, the new thought, new suggestions, you move on it. That's what becomes the reality. That's what moves it forward. Reality isn't me telling Courtney she can't cook. That's not reality. Reality isn't me saying you can't do this because you're too old. Old is just a frame of mind. Yes, your body does progress, and yes, you are going to leave some things behind as you move in that progression. I can't run to first as fast as I used to. I can't throw a baseball as hard as I used to. But those are just things that happen. That is the reality of it. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't do that. And that doesn't mean I didn't do that. And that doesn't mean I'm willing not to do it again. I am willing to do it again. So if we're not in it, that's the vibration. That's the central point with God. So every thought that you have is registered somewhere. And it's computed in, if we look at God as a computer, it's computed in God. And your thought affects every single person around you. Your thought affects every state, every country, the earth, every world. It's all connected. And that is the biggest thing that in this philosophy that they teach us, is that we are all connected. Emma Curtis Hawk, Mary Baker Eddy, which is really not science of mine, but she's a cousin. Thomas Trower, Emerson, Michael Beckwith, Gail Dillon. That's what they're all telling us. And as soon as we can move out of the way of thinking that our thoughts don't affect other people, and that it does put that vibration into the world, we'll move, that bunny will run free. That's what's important. That's what's important. So I leave with you the thought that moves into reality, that your thoughts count, your actions count, your beliefs count, your heart counts, your love counts. Everything that you do is important. If you believe it or not, everything that you do is important. Not just for yourself, not just for your loved ones, not just for your neighbor, not just for Burney, not just for this community, but everywhere on the world, in the universe. So let's pray. Let's move into that consciousness, that mental consciousness, that mental equivalence of the thought process that moves things into reality. That each and every one of these people right here and right now know that. They know that whatever fear that they have can be changed, can be moved into extinction. That they allow themselves to embrace that and are willing to move forward, willing to move beyond that, to break their hearts open and say, I may not understand exactly what you're saying, but I'm willing to listen to you. That each and every one of the person embraces the people who they love. And that love goes out and embraces even more and more and more. Feeling that, knowing that. That it is important that we feel important, that we feel loved. And that love is felt all around us. That there is a healing going on. That the universe does love change. And that you are willing to do that movement and to take that change. That each and every one of us just allows ourselves to sit in that and know that to be true. So I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm very, very thankful that this day has happened right here, right now. And with that, I just release my words and say, and so it is. Now, one more time. Where are you, Dave? We got the great Dave.
Ready to go.
Roback. All right. Thank you.
I want to be like Cal. I want to be consistent. I want to quit complaining. I want to carry on. I want to show up smiling. I want to push the limits. I want to play forever and keeping on. I want to be like Cal. This world is a mean mind place where everybody wants and so many take. I got 1 foot in, I got 6 steps out. Take what I need, then get out. I want to be like Cal. I want to be consistent. Wanna quit complaining. I wanna carry on. I wanna show up smiling. I wanna push the limits. I wanna play forever and keeping on. I wanna be like Cal. It's so dang easy to run away when I fall behind. First with the pain, rationalize and defend my escapes. What could have been if I chose to stay? I wanna be like Cal. I wanna be consistent. I wanna quit complaining. I wanna carry on. I wanna show up smiling. I wanna push the limits. I wanna play forever and keeping on. I wanna be like Cal. 2,131, yeah, the man showed up. Everyone wasn't fun. When I look to my life for some kind of streak, I see 20,000 times I fell asleep. But hear me now, the old way is done. It's a brand new me, this is day number 1. I'm gonna be like Cal. I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna quit complaining. I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna show up smiling. I'm gonna push the limits. I'm gonna play forever and keeping on. I'm gonna be like Cal. Gonna be like Cal. Gonna be like Cal. Gonna be like Cal. Gonna be like Cal.